Welcome to Antigua, a beautiful and tranquil island that I believe has some of the best beaches in the Caribbean. For this series, we're going to cover 5 beaches on the southwest Caribbean side of the island. The distance to St. John's, the capital, is about 13 kilometers, 25 minutes, and to the airport, about 18 kilometers and a 30-minute ride, depending on traffic, of course. In this episode, we're going to cover Jolly Beach. It's located right off Valley Road and right above Valley Church Beach. What we liked a lot about Jolly Beach, as it's connected to Jolly Harbour, there are a lot of activities as well as many restaurants nearby. Now let's talk about getting to the beach. You have a few options. You could see on the map, the main road is Valley Road. This is the road you'll be taking for most of the beaches in this area. If you're driving, taking a taxi or a van, there's also a local bus service that stops near the beaches as well. Let's take a closer look at Jolly Harbour. You can see by the map how big this area is, and there's a lot more going on than just a beach and a harbor to fill up your day. But let's look at the most important part, the beach. Jolly Beach had probably the longest beach in the area. They say it's a mile long, but we can't confirm that. We never measured it. But you can see it has a great view, clear water, and a very long and pretty wide beach to lay back and enjoy the day. Now let's take a closer look at the clear turquoise water at Jolly Beach. Like many of the other beaches in this area, the water here was fairly clear. There wasn't much going on under the water unless you went a little further out, but we did get to see a few fish and a couple of turtles. Like many of the other beaches we covered in this series, the water is Caribbean calm. As we take a look back at the beach, you can see it's fairly empty. As you get further away from the restaurants and shops, the beach can be pretty deserted. As we take a look at the southern end of the beach, towards Valley Church Beach, not really many people, but it did get a little more crowded towards the end of the day as the sun started to set and the temperatures came down. But now let's take a look at the north end of the beach, towards the restaurants. As with most of the beaches in this area, they can get a little crowded when the cruise ships are in port, but since this beach is so big, I don't think that will be an issue. As you can see behind the beach, there was a lot of construction going on, so most of the hotels and condos were empty, which didn't really bother us at all. As we look again down the south end of the beach, towards Valley Church Beach, take a walk down this end if you want to get away from the crowds. Take a nice, tranquil walk and enjoy the view. Now let's move on to the north end of the beach. This end of the beach gets a little more crowded, as you could find restaurants and water sports here. And if you have a chance, stay a little later, sit back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful Jolly Beach sunset. Let's take a look at the Jolly Beach restaurants. Okay, there are a lot of restaurants and bars and shops within Jolly Harbour. But for our purposes, for now, we're just going to look at the ones that are on the beach. Sandra's Beach Shop Bar and Grill, and the Pop-Up Beach Bar. First, let's take a look at the Pop-Up Beach Bar. Here's a place to go if you want to get in out of the sun in a nice comfortable environment and enjoy a few drinks and some food. Unfortunately, when we went, we were told the food and drinks that we had ordered were unavailable that day. I'm sure this establishment is quite nice, but we took that as a sign for us to move on. So we moved on to Sandra's Beach Shop, Bar and Grill. Basically right next door, a little closer to the beach, with a wonderful view. They also had a DJ playing some island tunes that day. And they accept Visa and MasterCard here. Sorry, Amex. They had a nice selection of beers and wines, as well as cocktails, and even non-alcoholic options for the kids. Moving on to the food, they had a nice extensive selection of food. We ended up going with the shrimp roti, served with a side salad, which we had gotten a few times at the Nest in Valley Church, and we really enjoyed it there. And this one was delicious as well. And what better way to accompany a meal on the beach than a bucket of beers? We even had a little friend join us. Let's take a quick look on what Jolly Harbour has to offer. We're not going to go too in-depth into this area, just give you some general info. And as you can see by the map, there's a lot going on here. In addition to the beaches and the marina, there's shops and restaurants and bars, as well as tennis and golf. We saw these trees around Jolly Harbour. They're really cool. I don't know what they are, but if you know, please mention it in the comments. So back to the food options. Jolly Harbour has restaurants, bars, lounges, bakeries, cafes. Basically, you have a plethora of food options. And as day turns into night, the harbor is a great place to grab a meal or some drinks, as they have a few restaurants and bars lining the docks, and a great place to join some friends and have a beautiful birthday celebration. Let's take a quick look at the Jolly Harbour Marina, as they have events every so often. Today was the Arts and Crafts Fair, where you can buy some very unique and interesting items, as well as some quite tasty homemade food options. A great way to spend a little time after the beach, and maybe even pick up a gift for yourself, or a family member, or even a friend. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. We can't forget to mention the one major supermarket in the area, the Epicurean. If you're staying in this area, I'm sure you'll stop here at least once or twice during your stay. As you can see by the map, it's walking distance from Jolly Harbour, or you could always take a taxi or drive there. We like to have a taxi take a quick stop at the Epicurean from the airport before we settle in to our vacation. This supermarket will have pretty much everything you need. Now the prices here will probably be a little higher than you're used to, but it's an island, so get used to it. And if you're gonna pay with a credit card, make sure you bring your ID with you. They're gonna need to check it. They also have a good selection of beer and wine, and the prices are pretty reasonable, so stock up. Some final thoughts. No matter where you're staying in Antigua, try to venture out and explore different areas of the island. There's so many great restaurants, beaches, and sights to see. It's well worth the trip. I hope this helps you when you visit Antigua. Safe travels. For more insights, tips, and info into all your travel moves, stay tuned and subscribe to our channel.